Hello everyone. Am I audible to all?
Hi, sir. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So I can see still people are joining. We'll give another minute. Looks like you people are connecting after a long weekend. Oh, no. Yesterday just a 1 day for mentor session, right? Okay. All right. So shall we? So guys, hope all are there. Shall we continue?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So in our last session, we have started with a Git module where we talked about the importance of Git, version control system, and what is Git, what are its capabilities, and also we talked about the distributed version system, how it is distributed with local and remote server. And also we have seen how we can able to manage the file from the working directory till remote repository using some CLI commands. So we just talked about it, right? So did you get a chance to go through these documents? Do you guys have any question? Do you guys have any question?
No, look.
Hope all are able to hear me, right? Or any
Yes.
issues?
Yeah, no issues.
Till now, okay, it is okay.
Okay, so any issues in installing Git or following the folder structure? You guys are able to, I was expecting to complete till this level, right? Able to complete this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any challenges or any issues, any doubts there? All good?
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
forget about your ad and other stuff. Okay, that is altogether as different flow. But at least on installation perspective, you should be good, and you should able to maintain the workspace directory and able to create a repository, and also you should able to initialize a simple local repository. And as part of it, you should able to evidence the .git directory along with the master branch, right? All good?
Yeah, looks like.
Yeah.
Fine.
Your voice is breaking, Sai, so
Is that for everyone or like what?
No,
Not sure
for
like what
me
went
it's
wrong.
clear.
I don't find any issue from my end. It looks good. Um, uh, Please confirm, is everyone clear?
and now it is fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yes, clear.
So today we'll continue with the local repository creation. So for next 2 days or till we complete our branching strategies, all our activities will be on our local repositories only. All right. So we are not going to deal with any remote repository commands like git clone or git push, git fetch or pull. Don't worry about that. I'll talk about it once we complete all the important tasks related to our local repository. Correct. Now, let me start from the scratch. Okay, so on the day itself, I showed you how to initialize the repository and how to create a new file in that working directory, add it to staging area, and then to the local repository. Right now, the next important thing is we have to streamline this process. So how we are going to manage these things? Got it? Like on developers' perspective, there are a lot of things required actually, like how they can able to maintain the source code changes, and what are all the best practices we have. Everything we'll see one by one. Correct? So let me get into my Git Bash terminal. Here it is. And I guess in our last session, we have prepared these two repositories. If you want, I can create another one. Let it be like sample repo 1, right? And let's get into the sample repo 1. And what is the command to initialize the repository?
Git init.
It is just an initialization. So we can simply say git init. So when you say git init, you should be able to see it has initialized one repository with a master branch, and you can able to find a hidden folder called .git. It is something used and managed by Git CLI to maintain the repository level details. Correct. Now,
Yes.
next thing, what are the actions we can able to perform? So as part of our last session itself, we talked about it. So we are going to deal with the local repository. So we'll be creating some changes in the local working directory. And if you want to version control it, you can able to add it to staging area. And from there, you can able to commit it to the local repository, right? So just pay attention here, because these are things you can understand just from the scratch. If you understand the basics, the fundamentals, then on top of it, you can do anything, right? So let's create a new changes here. I don't have any files, so let me create a new file. For example, file1.txt. And if I get the status of this repo, what should be the status here? The status should be
Untracked again.
untracked file. So there is some untracked file. That means we have created a physical file in our working directory. It is not yet tracked by Git. So if you want Git to track the file, it is giving a recommendation. Use git add to include it to the changes. So if you say git add followed by the file name, the changes will be added to the staging area. And from here, if I say git status, I should expect the message changes to be committed.
Changes to be committed.
Right? Now, as part of this, like I can say git commit -m. It is just to maintain or create a commit using the commit message. Created file1.txt file. Correct. So this is how we can able to create a quick commit. And as soon as I commit the changes, if I say git log, I should able to get the list of commits that we perform on this repository. So we have created one repository and we made a very first commit for this particular file. So Git CLI has assigned the unique commit ID. This is a complete commit ID assigned to that changes, and it is done by this user. It is a user's email ID, and then the date and timestamp. And also you can find there is something called head pointer that always points to the latest commit of your current branch. My current branch is master now. If you want, I can create one more commit. Let me create another file. Echo record1. Let it be like file2.txt. And if I say git add followed by the file name, and if I say git commit -m created file2.txt. Now if I say git log, you can understand this is the latest commit created for this particular file. And you can see the difference, the head pointer from your latest, previous commit, it just moved towards the latest one. So what is the purpose of git log means? It is used to get the list of commits. What are all the commits we perform on this particular repository? If you want to get the list of commits, you can able to use git log command. All right. But the now point here is, how many of you tried to commit your repository? Anyone tried this? Definitely there must be some curiosity, right? People must have tried it.
Yeah, just
Was that successful?
Yes,
Yeah,
I have tried.
Was it successful?
No,
Yeah.
it is asking for who are you and authorization, something like that.
no, for me it's
Yes.
successful. It's work.
Yes. So the point is, ultimately, when you talk about the Git, right? If you install Git and if you try to make the very first commit, correct? If you install Git and for the very first time, if you're trying to commit the changes, means you can able to see it has generated the commit ID that is auto-generated. And the commit message, that is something I am assigning during the commit action. And the timestamp also, it can be captured from the system time. But what about this author name and the email ID? From where it is capturing it? So this is what the reason, okay? Before you make a very first commit to your repository, I'm talking about after installation, okay? If you're completely new to Git, if you install Git on that machine, and for the very first time, if you want to commit, means before you make a very first commit, you have to set your author name and the author's email ID. That is must to have. Otherwise, Git client cannot recognize who is making the commit. Right? Because tracking means what? If I want to track my changes, I should know when I committed, for what purpose I committed, what is the commit ID, and by whom it is committed, what is their identity. Based upon all these information only, I can able to track my changes, right? So if you are unable to provide this particular parameter, Git will ask you, who are you? Right? That was the question, no? So
Yes.
always, as a best practice, for the very first time, your flow should be something like this. You should use Git init. That is for sure, to initialize the repository. And as soon as you initialize the repository, or just before the commit command, you can able to use Git configuration. There is a concept called Git configuration. So this Git configuration itself, there are two types. One we call it as local configuration, and another thing is global configuration. So local configuration means it is within the repository, applicable within a repository. Correct. And global configuration means it is applicable to all the repositories within the local machine. So what is the purpose of this configuration means? It is used to set up the user's email ID and name. So syntax here is git config. I'm giving you the syntax here, git config, followed by the parameter like user dot name. Similarly, if I want to set up my email ID, I can say git config user dot email. Something like this. Correct. This is about local configuration. If you want to set up the global configuration, the same command, but you have to add one tag called global. Correct. Git config -- global. This is what you have to add as part of your command. So the flow of execution is initialize your repository. Even without initializing, you now execute this command. Correct. First initialize it, and then immediately you just make this configuration. So this can be a one-time activity. One-time activity. Once this is done, you can able to create a file and you can able to add it to the staging area, and then you can able to commit. See? So now I'll show you how to run this command. Like for example, in my case, in this repository, if you can see here, this is a default or global ID which I assigned at the system level. If you want, I can change this. Like I can use this parameter. git config username equal to this loci. Currently it is loci eta. Now I just want to change it to loci. That's it. If I execute this command, the configuration is completed. Now, if I make any changes, what is it? File 3.txt and git add and then git commit -m followed by the file 3, right? That's it. Now, in this case, if I use a command git log command, you can see my initial 2 commits was done by this username loci-eta. But the latest commit, whatever I did, it is done by this particular user ID. And I just configured it as a local configuration. It means this username is applicable within this repository. If I try to create any other new repository, and if I try to make a commit, what will happen? Whether it will use this loci or the existing one. Let's check that. Let me go back to my parent folder. And let me create a new directory here, new repository. And let's initialize this git init. Right. Now, if I say git, go. And git add s1.txt. And now if I say git commit -m created s1.txt file. And if I say git log, what is expected now? What will be the username?
Loci.
Loci. ETA.
I told you when you say local configuration, it is applicable within the repository. So within that repository only, it assigns loci as the ID. But initially, when I install Git, I've already configured the global parameter using -f global parameter with loci eta. So that is applicable to all the repositories. Getting your point?
We don't put the better nearby.
Are you getting your point?
What is the need of
Yeah.
local then? Global is accessible for all.
It depends upon the project. It depends upon the project. Let's say I am a developer. I'm working for 2 different clients in my same machine. For one particular client, I have a repository, source code repository, and whatever I want to make changes with that repository, I want to use the client specific ID. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Or if I'm working for only one client with multiple repositories, I have multiple repositories for a particular client. In that case, I can go with a global configuration. So all the repositories will be assigned with the global ID. Clear?
So all in all, it is required if you want to work for multiple clients at a time.
Yeah.
Got it. Otherwise, the local one is always there.
Yeah. Otherwise, your global will be there.
Sorry,
Global will
I'm
be at the
sorry.
system
Yeah,
level.
yeah,
Global will
got
be
it.
at the system level.
Yeah, sorry.
It is a default. We always recommend to create a global parameter, which is applicable to system level. Any repository you create, this ID will be assigned. But there will be some exception cases. If you are trying with some different customer, they might be providing you their own ID to manage their details, right? So in that case, you have to provide such things. Get it?
Yes.
So
So, yeah.
So can we create multiple global IDs if required?
No, it's not possible. You can go with a specific local repository. Each and every repository, you can have one local entries there.
So we can create multiple local IDs,
Yeah.
but we cannot create a global ID, right? Multiple
Yes.
global.
Yes.
Okay.
The global is like one-time activity, right?
Yes. So in your case, your workflow for the very first time, listen carefully. For the very first time, if you're working on it, your approach should be like execute a git init command. If you want, you can able to add these changes also, no problem, because this configuration is required just before the very first commit, and then you can run these commands. All right, and then execute your commit command, and ensure that you give your own user ID and your email ID. Easy? Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
Right. And initially, when I asked this question, someone mentioned like they were able to commit the changes, right? Without any issue. That might be because during the installation of Git, there is a parameter. There, it will ask you whether you want to set up the default name or parameter. If you just enable checkbox, it will allocate your default system ID, like admin user ID or default ID to that configuration. Easy. So people who are working on Git for the very first time, if you follow this approach, you can able to successfully commit your changes. Easy?
No, no, I'm already using GitHub mention. That's why I can able to
Might be.
create
Yeah,
this.
there is also reason. This is for the
Yeah.
very first time I'm saying, okay,
Okay, okay.
fine. So any other question here before we move on to the next topic?
No, it's clear.
No.
All right. So tomorrow you should not face any issue
No, it's clear.
during the commit, okay? Fine. So now we'll see how to work on your repositories. More options are there. Let's say, for example, consider I want to create a repository. What is there? Git log. Okay, we have one commit and we have only one file, right? All right, no problem. So if I get the status of this repository, you can see it says working tree is clean. That means there is nothing to commit. We already committed everything and we are clean with our changes. Now, what we are going to do here is we are going to make some changes. We are going to create some files. Let me create a new file like go record1 s2.txt file. Similarly, I can create another file s3.txt file, s4.txt file, right? Or I can say like a1.java, any file for that matter, a3, a4, or it can be any other data type also, like a file type also, like doc, q2.doc, q3.doc. I am just creating these files in the working directory, okay? I am not adding it to staging area at this point. Right. So like this, we have created these many files. It is not mandatory that as soon as you create a file, you have to add it to staging area and commit it. Because as a developer, it is completely my own requirement. Okay, when to add it to staging area and when to commit it, right? So I can able to create any number of files in my working directory. And now if I say git status, you can see the latest file, whatever we have created, it's all considered as an untracked file. So now if I want to add all these files to your staging area, what is the command we used here?
Git dot add.
So when I say git add command, there is an option I gave like file1.txt, right? Like this, I can say git add followed by the file name like a1.java. If I want to add one more file, I can say a2.java. Like this, we can able to add some number of files to your staging area. See, these two files are added to staging area, and remaining files, it is still there in the working directory as untracked file. Or I can use this method also, *.java. What it mean? It is a wildcard symbol, irrespective of the file name. Based upon the file extension, it will identify all the files. So my intention is all the Java files has to be added to staging area. Got it? So remaining Java files also is added to staging area now. Easy? Or if you want, you can able to use *.md or q1.doc. Like this, you can able to give some combinations also, no problem. So all the MD files and one doc file should be added to staging area now. Or irrespective of file name, I just want to add everything to staging area. In the case, I can simply say git add dot. Git add followed by one small dot. It just identifies all the untracked file and adds to the staging area. Easy? So when it comes to your git add command, there are some possible options. You can use git add followed by the file name. You can give another file name also. Just with one character space. Git add followed by a file name. And if you want to add one more file name, you can give one character space and add it, no problem. Or you can simply say git add asterisk dot asterisk. Or you can simply say asterisk dot doc kind of thing. Or you can say git add dot. So this will add all the files to the staging area. Understood?
Look, sorry, I have a question. If in case I give this command git add dot, so it will add all the files to the staging area irrespective of their extensions?
Yes.
Okay.
All changes, all the untracked files will move to staging area.
Staging area. Thank you.
Listen, please. So now we just added all the files to the staging area. And what is my next activity here? What is expected actually? If I say git status, I can see there are some changes to be committed. It is expecting me to commit these changes, right? So it's all purely depends upon my requirement. Okay, if I simply say git commit, what will happen? What will happen here? All the files from the staging area will be committed to the local repository. It creates one commit point, new commit ID. But if you don't want to commit some specific file, means you can simply unstage it. So there is a concept called unstaging. Correct? Unstaging. Unstaging means it's a kind of revert. Okay. So it is used to, this is to remove from staging area. Got it? Why? Because there are some scenarios like I just added my files to the staging area, but my intention is not to create a commit point there because my testing is not completed. But I have some other files to be committed. As like you apply filter in your add command, you cannot apply filter in your commit command. You cannot choose a specific file for commit. It is not possible. If you don't want to commit any file, just remove from the staging area. Understood? I repeat, if you want to add some number of files from your working directory to staging area, you can able to apply some filter based upon the file name or a file extension. But consider you have some files in your staging area, and if you want to commit only specific number of files to the local repository means it's not possible. Because when you issue commit command, it will consider all the files from the staging area for commit action. So in that case, if you don't want to commit any specific file, you can simply take it back to the working directory, or you can permanently remove it. So there are two commands here to perform this action. Listen carefully. There is a command called git rm command --- cached, followed by the file name. Like I can use any file name like a1.java. Correct. Similarly, there's another command called git rm -rf. Or I can simply say f, followed by the file name. Let it be s1 or a2.java. So, sorry, what is the purpose of this command means? It removes the file from staging area and the changes will be taken back to working directory as untracked file. Right. So this is about rm-f cached option. But if you say rm-f, this will remove the file changes from the staging area as well as from the working directory. Correct. That's a point. For example, listen carefully. I just want to take this file or remove this file just from the staging area. So I can simply say git rm-f cache parameter, followed by the file name like a1.java. If I run this command, that -f cache means it is just a temporary undo action. See, it has removed the file from staging area. Now, if I say git status, you can see that a1.java, the file has been removed from the staging area and it is considering it as an untracked file. That is about your cache parameter. It removes a file from the staging area and the changes will be taken back to the working directory as an untracked file. Correct. At any point of time, you can able to add it again, like git add. It's done. Got it. All the untracked files has been added to staging area now. Now, there is another interesting thing. If you think that this file is no longer required, if you want to permanently remove from the staging area as well as from the working directory, you can use git rm-f followed by the file name. That's it. The file has been removed. Now, if I say git status, you can see only the files that are available in your staging area. If I say ls, that a1.java file has been removed from your working directory itself. So whenever you want to unstage the changes, whenever you want to remove changes from the staging area, whether you want to permanently remove it or you want to temporarily take it back to the working directory. That's the point. Easy? This is about undo action. Undo the changes from your staging area. And when I say ls, I can see the files, right? What is the ls command actually?
List of all the files.
It is a basic Linux command. Okay, ls is not a git command. Ls is just a basic Linux command that is used to get the list of files and folders from your working directory. Similarly, if I say git ls-files, so git ls-files is a git command. when I run this command, it will get me the list of files that are being tracked by Git. So you can see all these files is being tracked by Git now, right? So whenever you add anything to the staging area, and if you want to know whether the Git is tracking the file or not, you can use git ls-files. Let's say, for example, if I remove anything from my staging area using this command, let's say I want to remove a2.java file. I just want to take it back to my working directory. Is all listening? All are following, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So git rm -- cached a2.java. I just want to take it back to my working directory. Now, if I say ls, I should able to see that a2.java file is present in my working directory because it's a physical location. But if I say git ls-files, that a2.java is not available here because the git says it is an untracked file. You see? So it's again a very important equation. Git ls-files is used to get the list of files that are being tracked by Git. Easy. And if you want, you can make note of this also. ls. ls is a Linux command. To list the files and directories.
I
So,
have okay, sorry to interrupt. You can go first, Loksan.
so when I say git ls-files, so please use this command. And along with that, we also discussed about one command called status command, right? Git status. So these are two important commands, okay? This is used to get the current status of repository. Okay. So this is very much important. Why? Because tomorrow you will be working on multiple repositories. You'll be working on multiple branches. So whenever you try to navigate from one branch to another branch or one repository to another repository, ensure that the changes whatever you made in the repository are clean. If you can see here, there are some uncommitted changes. There are some untracked files. With this, you're not supposed to navigate to any other repository. You should never keep your status like this. It should be a clean status. So if I want, I can simply say git add and then git commit -m created few files just for my reference. Got it. Now, if I say git log, I can see we made 2 commits. In the latest commit, we have created these many files. All right. Any question?
Yes, I had a question. It is regarding git rm-f and the file name. So suppose if we have already pushed the code and the file is already present in the remote repository. So then still it will remove the file or
Yes, it will remove the file.
okay.
It will remove the file and then you'll be making another new commit. It means you are just removing the changes or files from the directory repository and making that commit. That's what it means.
Okay, got it.
Okay, another question. So for that rm command, can we use the same asterisk method to remove all the similar files?
No, it is not recommended.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. I mean, it is possible. Technically, it is possible, but it's not because even just for sake of learning purpose, I'm giving you this RM, RF and all. But in real-time environment, we never encourage people to use a permanent deletion. Okay, if you're using your permanent deletion without proper knowledge, if you simply say asterisk dot asterisk, you'll be losing everything. Correct?
Yes.
So if you want to use this, you have to be very cautious. And there are a lot of backup strategies also involved. Okay, directly we never allow any developers to follow that process. It's all developers' responsibility actually to take care of it, right? Is it clear?
Yes.
So while adding the change is not an issue, but whenever you're trying to perform unstaging, unstaging means removing from the staging area to local repository and working directory. Similarly, you can able to undo the changes from the committed repository also. Like here, I made some commit. Here I made some commit, and if I want, I can able to take the changes back to my staging area or to my working directory. That is also possible, right? During the time also, we have to handle the data very carefully. There should not be any permanent loss of data. Fine. So these are some basic things you need to understand before you actually work on some advanced topics. And another important thing here, which we used is about git log command, right? Okay. So git log. What is the purpose of git log here? What I said about git log, any guess? Hmm?
Yeah, it will provide that on log file, like what are the action we have performed.
So it is used to track the changes. Track. I mean, get the list of commits from a repository. Correct. It is used to get the track the changes, like when the commit happened, for what purpose it happened, who made the commit. If you want to get those details, you can use git log, and also it is used to get the list of commits. We can see here. But every time we cannot use git log, right? Unnecessarily, it is pulling all this information. I'm not interested to do that. If you want, I can make few changes and show you. Let's create few commits now. Git add and then git commit -m created what is it, m1.py. Similarly, let me make few more commits like m2.py. I want to add it to staging area and then I want to commit this. Let's make few more files, few more commits. Use up arrow, it will take you to the previous command and I can quickly code it. Right? So just a process of creating some commits. For the sake of demo, I'm doing this. So now if you can see here, if I say git log, you can see there are a huge list of commits in my repository. This is what happens in real-time environment also. Because in real-time environment, the repository will be used by multiple users if you're working on an enhancement project. So there might be a number of commits, hundreds of commits will be there in the same repository, right? So if you simply say git log command, you can see the log history, right? It is going beyond a page, right? You can see the cursor is waiting for a command. So just press enter. It will take you to the next page and get you the complete list. Or at any point of time, if you want to exit from this command, type Q. It will come out of the command. I repeat, if you want to execute a git log command, and if the history of commit is going beyond a page, just press enter key to navigate to the next page and view the remaining commit history. Or at any point of time, if you want to come out of this command, press Q. It exit. Q means quit from the command. Easy? Now, I'm not interested to capture all this information because I know the username, email ID, date and time, and for what purpose I made. Let's say there is an option called git log -one line. So this command option one line will get you a short commit ID along with the commit message. Because I'm not interested to see the author name or complete date and time, and also I'm not interested to capture the entire commit ID. So unique commit ID, first 7 characters is sufficient for me to uniquely identify the changes, right? So in real-time environment, we very frequently use this command only, git log --, one line command. This is one option. Similarly, let's say I'm using git log command, but I'm not interested to see all the commit histories, okay? I just want to see the last 2 commits or last 3 commits. So what I can do, I can simply say -2. See, from this command, I can see the last or latest 2 commits we did in this repository. Easy. Or if I say 5 means, it will display the last 5 commits. Like this, you can able to apply some filter and capture the list of commits for your review. Correct. Not only here, even if you want, you can use it here also. So if I say here like this, what will happen? See, it just get me the last 2 commits. This is the latest commit ID. This is the previous commit ID. Easy. Any question here?
No, no, Loksai.
No.
So these are all things, right? If you consider it on real-time environment, in which scenario we use it means, let's say I have a development team. There are some developers who are making some changes in the repository, and it is my responsibility to review their changes. So as a reviewer, right, before we move the changes to higher environment, if I want to review the changes, I can simply use a command, git log command, and the last 3 commits or something like that, I can able to capture. And I can able to see the commit ID followed by the commit message, for what purpose it happened. Correct. But what is the use of getting this commit ID? That is another important point, right? So using this commit ID, I can able to get the complete information about the commit. Let's say there is a command called git show command, git show followed by the commit ID. If I use git show followed by that commit ID, it will get me the complete information about the commit. Like what is the commit ID, complete commit ID, who made the changes, when the changes happened, for what purpose it happened, and what exactly happened there, which file changes happened in that commit, and what are the records it has updated. So including the very granular level details, even the record also you can able to capture here. Plus denotes, as part of this commit, I have created one new record. Correct? Like this, using this commit ID, we can able to capture the complete, this is what the tracking means. For example, if I create one more record here, record 2, to that same file name, m6.py. And if I give a commit, hyphen, add, and commit, -m, I just updated m6.py. Correct? Now, if I say git log -, one line, last 3 commits, I can able to see the latest 2 commits are meant for m6.py. If I use git show command followed by this latest commit ID, you can see in this latest commit, it has added record 2. Correct? So like this, as a reviewer, I can able to quickly use that short commit ID, and using the show command, I am able to capture the complete information about that commit. So this is syntax. If you want, I can give any commit ID. Easy. So this is another command which will be very frequently used in real-time environment. This is one scenario. And along with that, there is another option also as part of log. Let's say git log hyphen statistics -2 or 1. See, when I say git, or if I want, I can use git show, this one. So almost the git show command and git log statistic command both are similar. But statistic is not a command, it is an option for this log command actually. Log is a command and the statistics is just an option to this log. So when I say statistics, right, it is also going to capture the complete information, but it will not provide you the record level details. Only the file name, till file name, how many records has been updated or inserted, you'll get those details. But what exactly you update, right? That detailed record level, data level information, you won't get it using statistics. For that only we use a show command. Understood? Are you guys able to understand difference between this statistics and show command?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, bro.
So like this, we have a lot of options associated to your log command, and in real-time environment, we'll be very frequently using this option. Git log -1 line -5 or -2 and git add dot. In short, we can do. Easy? All clear?
Yes.
Now, there is another interesting thing called git diff command. So when I say git diff command, it is used to get the difference between the changes. For example, if I give cat to m6.py, I have 2 records here. Let me add one more record, like go record 3 m6.py, cat m6.py. Okay. Now, when I say git status, what is expected? The file has been modified. The m6.py was already, it's an existing file actually, but we just modified it, right? So I want to add it to staging area and then I want to commit it. That is a requirement. But before I add to staging area, I just want to know what is the actual changes. For that, I can use git diff command. So when you say git diff command, it will compare the file that you just created or updated and the file that is already present in your repository. So if you want to compare the changes between your working directory and the local repository, we can use git diff command. It is a very common process. Like as a developer, before they add it to staging area, they just want to quickly give a comparison, like what exactly they are going to add. See, this is a new record we're going to add now. Already my file is having these 2 records. But if I simply say cat m6, it will get me the complete record, right? Because it is pulling from the working directory. Getting your point? It is pulling from the working directory. So in working directory shows all the records. I don't have any track of the changes. But what actually present in my local repository is just these 2 records. This is a new record I'm going to insert. Easy? Is that understandable or confusing or whatever it is?
Yeah,
Please let me know right
little
away.
confusing.
Hmm?
For me, it is little confusing.
What is it?
Can you please explain once more?
So you understood what is the commit, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah,
What is the purpose of add command?
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, to commit.
Now, at present, this m6.py file is already committed to the repository with these 2 records. Hope you witnessed, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Already this m6.py file is present in my local repository with these 2 records. Now I just added a new record to my file. If I want, I can add one more file, one more record. Go record 4 m6.py. Cat m6.py, it is showing the 4 records. So now I'm ready with my changes and I want to add it to staging area. But before I add it to staging area, I just want to compare my data that is present in my working directory and the data that is already present in my local repository. So I can use git diff. Diff means difference. See here, the git difference command, it will get into your local repository and check if the file is present or not. If the file is present, it is identifying the file record here. So record 1, record 2 are already present. And these 2 records are being added now. Easy?
Yes.
Yes.
So
But here you just added the record 4 this time. 3 was already there. Still it's showing plus.
it is not
It's
added to
not
staging area, right?
added steady.
Oh,
I'm just keep on adding to working directory only, right?
okay. It's not in the staging area yet. All right. Got it.
Easy?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's add this to staging area and git commit -m followed by the commit ID, like updated m6.py. Easy. So it's just a very basic thing. Tomorrow, while working on a remote repository using GitHub, I'll come back to the same topic and I'll show you how to do the same comparison on your remote repository level. All right. Any questions?
No.
No, looks high.
Okay.
So
So good.
one question here.
Okay.
How git diff will work if we already like use the commit command?
If there is no changes in the working directory, it won't throw any result because there is nothing to compare in a working directory, right?
Yes, understood.
We just committed. So there is nothing new in my working directory. The status also, it's clean. So it throws nothing.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So now let's get into the next level. Are we good to proceed or you want to have a quick break or something?
Yeah, 5 minutes of break.
All right. Just recollect these topics. And once you're clear with this, then we'll move on to the next one. So 5 minutes is sufficient, right?
Yeah, enough.
Yep, good. I'm here. The reason for this break is people who are someone, if you're unable to follow any questions, you can utilize this time before we move on to the next topic.
What is the difference between git log one line and git log dash 3 or 4 like this? Yeah.
When you say git log, it will get you the complete commit ID along with the date and time, username, email ID, everything. Complete information will be provided there, right? Correct. But my requirement is I want to get the last 2 commits information.
Yes.
Or I just want to know the last 2 commit IDs. Git log -1 line -2. Can you understand the difference now? If you use one line means it will provide you the short commit ID along with the commit message. And obviously the head pointer will be pointing to the latest commit ID.
Okay. Done,
But
done.
if you're not using this parameter, one line parameter, it will get you the complete picture of the commit.
Right. Got it.
Any other questions?
Loksa, if we have the multiple files in the local repo, then how can we use the difference command to compare the?
Whatever it is there in the committed repository, it will just compares it. Let's
If
say you have 5 files that are already committed to your local repository.
Mm-hmm.
And you're modifying those 5 files in the working directory now.
Mm-hmm.
If you simply say git diff command, it just compares all these files from your local repository and your working directory. Everything.
Okay, it's not only for the particular one file which we are working.
No, it's not like that.
Okay, got it.
It
Thank you.
is, see, even when we talk about the git, right,
Mm-hmm.
it just talks about the changes in the file, not about the file actually. Even if you see anywhere I use the term changes, track the changes, right? So it is not used to track the file actually, it is used to track the changes in the file. For example, if I say git status, it is clean now. Without making any changes, if I simply say git commit, what happens? It says nothing to commit, right? So there should be some changes to commit. There should be some changes to compare and get the difference. Your time has stopped with job. All right, so
So now if I want to practice all these commands, so I have to globally configure, right? Before doing that.
yes, you should make your global configuration first before making the very first commit.
Local configuration is not required right now.
Not recommended.
Yes.
No, Niti, right? Are you there on call? Nidhi. Nidhi. Okay. No, it is not required to give git config for each and every folder you create. It should be an one-time activity. So just make it as a global configuration. Then after you can able to create any number of repositories without any issues. And Vishal, it is I am adding a file to staging area, then my using different command without commit command still it is showing diff. Yeah, it should be there. No problem. There is no differences. Just comparing your changes with your local repository. There are other options also from staging area. It is just comparing with your staging area and the local repository there. That makes a difference. Why the timer is very slow today?
Time is not.
All right, so shall we?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so next we'll see how to undo the changes from your committed repository. Let's say I made some changes. I just made some commits in my repository and I just want to revert or undo the changes. So Git provides two different options. It can be done through Git reset or Git revert. So both are used to undo the committed changes from Git repository. Correct. But there are a lot of differences and a lot of concerns also before we actually think about it, use this. And even before we actually talk about, right, are you guys aware of the head pointer? What is head pointer basically? What I said about head pointer?
We'll focus on the latest commit.
Latest commit.
Okay. So Git will actually track your latest changes based upon that head pointer, the head position. It is just a small pointer that points to the latest commit all the time. So when you say git log -2, it means we are just giving a minus from the head pointer. Got it? So that is how it manages it. So now, before you actually work on any undo action at the repository level, I'm not talking at the staging level, okay? At the repository, I'm saying you need to be very clear about the process here. So here, if you can see, noticed here, we have a working directory and a local repository, and we use git add command to add the changes from the working directory to the staging area. So on git perspective, the staging directory is considered an index, which maintains a list of entries to be committed. That is what the git will consider staging area as. It is like a table of content, index actually. So what are all the changes to be committed? Git will temporarily maintain in this staging area. And from there, if you execute git commit command, it will get permanently committed to the local repository. This is about git index. Now, the important point here is head pointer. So when you say git, right? So you can able to make any number of commits in your repository. Let's say I just created one repository and I made a very first commit. When I make the very first commit, the head pointer, git head will points to that particular commit. And over the period of time, whenever I'm making any new commits, assume that this commit 4 is my latest commit I made. So the head pointer will move towards latest commit, and now it is pointing to commit 4 of the particular branch. So head pointer will always points to the latest commit of your current branch. which is used by Git to identify the latest commit and for tracking. And also we talked about git add command, all right? Are you guys aware of this or understood the concept here behind git add and commit?
Yes.
So consider we have created one file in the working directory. And when I say git add, it just adds the changes to your staging area. That's what git add. And what about git commit? The changes, whatever you maintain staging area, if you want to create a commit, you just issue git commit command. The file will be added to the local repository. So there are three things happening here when you issue git commit command. First thing is, it is taking the changes from the staging area and moving into the local repository. First thing. Second thing is, it is creating one new commit ID, a commit point. Earlier, it was having just commit 2. Now, as part of this commit, for these new changes, it has created one commit point. That is second option, second item. And third thing is the head pointer. Head pointer, earlier it was pointing to commit 2. Now from that commit 2, it just points to commit 3. So commit command will perform these three actions, okay? Hope you're clear with this, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes or no? All of you clear with this?
Yes.
Now, I have just created one new commit here, that is commit 3. And the head pointer is pointing to commit 3 now. And the file also present in my local repository. Got it? Now, if I want to undo the changes, I can use git reset. When I say git reset, it can work on 3 different scenarios. Scenario 1 is whether you want to take the changes back to the staging area. From your committed repository, if you want to take the changes back to the staging area, that is scenario 1. And that can be achieved with the help of git reset soft option. Got it? Git reset soft will take the changes back to the staging area. That means it just removes the commit ID from that level. And head pointer will be pointing back to the previous commit. Easy? That is about git reset soft. Or there will be another scenario. I'm not interested to take it back to staging area. I just want to take it back to my working directory. Instead of putting it to my staging area, I just want to take it to my working directory itself. That can be achieved with the help of this scenario 2. That is by using mixed option. Git reset mixed option will take the changes back to the working directory. It removes the commit ID and points the commit point to the previous commit point, what we mentioned. So when you use git reset mixed, the file, whatever you are handling, right, it will be present only in the working directory. It will be removed from the local repository as well as from the staging area. Easy. But if you use git reset soft, what happens? The file will be present in the working directory as well as in the staging area. It will be just removed from the local repository alone. And apart from these two things, there is another option called git reset hard option. Git reset hard is used to permanently remove the file from all these areas. It is a permanent deletion. If you use git reset hard option, it will take the commit point to the previous commit point and it removes that file changes permanently from your file system itself. It's a permanent loss of data you cannot recover. Easy? Are you getting a point? So I'll
Yes.
show you how it works now. And it's a very important interview question also. You have to be clear with this concept. So let me show you a quick demo of this. Before
All
that, let's
the
understand it. Let me summarize it again.
all the changes will happen in the last commit. Head pointer is pointing to the commit. That commit will be having all this soft, mixed, hard. When will we reset?
It can be anything.
Okay.
A previous commit, I said, right? It can be to any previous commit. Okay. So when I say git reset, I'll just give you the syntax and the examples now. First, we'll talk about git reset, and then I'll come back to your git revert and all. Okay. So this is about git reset. So git reset is used to undo the changes from the repository at the repository level. Okay. And the git reset will reset the commit point to previous commit point. Got it? And reset will not create any new commit point for tracking purpose. That is another important property of reset, because as part of Git, right, whenever you perform any action in the Git repository, it will create a new commit point for tracking. But when you use git reset, it will never create any new commit point. You won't have any trace of execution. And that is the reason git reset is not recommended in the shared repository. Because if it is a shared repository, more than one user might be making some commits. So without proper knowledge, if you simply issue git reset, it will clean up the entire commit history. You will be losing a track of it. Correct. This is a basic property, and this is syntax for git reset. So git reset followed by the reset option, whether it is soft, mixed, or hard option, followed by the previous commit ID. So what are the options we're going to use in git reset means? Listen carefully. First option is git reset soft option. This git reset soft will reset the head pointer to the previous commit point. Let's say you have 4 commits, and if you want to reset to the previous commit, the head pointer will move back to the previous commit by using git reset. So it means this is my local repository, staging area, and the working directory. Local repo. So when you say git reset soft option, the changes will be taken back to the staging area. Correct. It means the changes, whatever you're committed in your local repository, now it will be available in the staging area as well as in the working directory. It will be removed from the local repository. Understood? Any doubt in this git reset soft option?
No.
Assume that you have 4 commit points. The latest commit point will be removed and it will be pointing to the previous commit. The file will be removed from the local repository, but it will be present in your staging area as well as in the working directory. And another option is git reset mixed option. This is also used to reset your head pointer to the previous commit point. But the point here is it will take the changes back to the working directory. It means from this local repository, changes will be taken back to the working directory. It means the file will not be present in the staging area as well as in the local repository. It will be available only in the working directory as an untracked file. Easy. That is about git reset mixed. Or if you think like you don't want that changes anymore, you want to permanently remove it, means you can use git reset hard option. This reset hard also will change the head pointer to previous commit point, and it will delete the files from the file system. It's a permanent removal of that file. Easy. And very, very important thing is your git reset will never create any commit point for tracking purpose. You won't find any changes there. And that is the reason it is not recommended to use in shared repository. Then how I can do undo action shared repository means furtherly we're going to use git revert. Correct. So I'll talk about git revert in some time, but before let's have a quick demo of this one. Shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I can hear only few frequent familiar voices. Others, are we good or like?
Yeah, we can go.
All right then.
Yeah, you can go.
Fine. So let's make it. What is this? Report to what we have here. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me create a new repository for you. Right. So let me initialize this repository. And then let me make some commits now. Git, sorry, go record one. Let it be like s1.txt file. I'm going to add it to the staging area now. And then I'm going to commit this. Git commit -m. Let the commit message be like a CM1 for my reference. Just a short commit message for my reference. Oh, sorry. Git commit. Okay. Now, I just made one commit here. And let me make few more commits. Echo record one s2.txt file, git add and git commit, followed by that commit message CM2 s3 add commit s4 add commit s5 add and commit. I think 5 commits are sufficient for now. Let's say git log one line. Listen carefully. Please pay attention, all of you. Now, I can see if I say ls command, I'm able to retrieve the files from the working directory. It's a physical file that we just created in the working directory using ls command. And if I say ls-files, I can see all these files are being tracked by Git now. Correct? All these files are being tracked by Git. And if I say Git status, the status also it's clean. There is no uncommitted changes or untracked files. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the very first option, that is git reset soft, followed by the previous commit ID. So this is my latest commit. I just want to undo the CM5 commit. What are the things I did in my CM5? I just want to cancel or undo it. So control should go back to my CM4 now. That's what I gave previous commit ID. The syntax is git reset, your reset option followed by your previous commit ID. That previous commit ID, it can be just an immediate previous one, or it can be anything like CM2 or CM1 also, that doesn't matter. All right, so git reset soft, followed by previous commit ID. So it is completed. Now if I say ls, I can see the files are present in the working directory. And if I say ls, sorry, git ls-files, I should be able to see the files are being tracked, because what is the purpose of git reset soft option? It takes the changes back to your staging area. It means still Git is tracking that file. But when I say Git status, what is expected?
We'll get only 4 files.
Status.
It is.
Now the changes are present in staging area, right?
Yes.
You agree,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So it should say changes to be committed.
Committed. Yeah.
So earlier it was there in your status was clean. But now when I say git reset soft option, it just taken that s5.txt file, because as part of the latest commit, we were working on s5.txt file that has taken back to the staging area.
So this file has been restored from local repository to staging area like this. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Now, the important thing is when you say git log --- one line, see what happened? Can you able to see that CM5 here?
Yes, correct.
So your reset will reset your head pointer to the previous commit point. The latest commit point is not even available here. And it is not even creating a new commit point also to track the changes. Correct. That is about git reset soft. And since my working tree is not clean, let me commit this. CM 5.1, something like this. I can quickly commit this. And now if I say git status, it should be clean. And if I say git ls-files, I should be able to see those files and available. Now if I say git commit also, I can see, sorry, git log. I can see the last commit, what I made it. So I just made the working tree clean, that's all, by committing it. If I want, I can able to remove it also, no problem, but just committed it now. Now let's try another option, git reset mixed option. Followed by the previous commit ID. I can use a CM4 now again. So from CM 5.1, I want to go back to CM4. My intention is what all things I made in CM 5.1, I want to take it back to
Staging area.
working directory. Working directory. That's what now your reset mixed option will take the changes back to the working directory. Staging area means it's soft option. Any confusions here?
No.
All right. So if you execute this command, it is done. And if I say git status, what is expected?
Untracked.
file.
Perfect. So that s5.txt file is considered untracked file. Why? Because that file is not being tracked by Git.
Tracked by
That s5.txt is removed from the Git tracking. It is present in your working directory now. If I say ls, it should be there. Easy.
Yes.
Now, the very important thing is git commit, sorry, git log one line. See, it has removed that commit point 5.1 from your commit history, and you can see the late commit CM4 as latest commit. Correct? So that is what. So git reset mixed option will reset your head pointer to the previous commit point. It takes the changes back to the working directory, and the changes will be now available only in the working directory. It is not in your staging area or in your local repo. Any question?
No.
All right. So let me take it to my normal. Let me add it to staging area, and then let me commit it again. 5.2. Now, if I say git status, I'm expecting the working directory should be clean. And if I say ls, I should have the file available in the working directory. And also the git ls should track the file. And not only this, if I say git log one line, I should be able to see latest commit available now. Now, the another important thing is git reset hard option, or by the previous commit itself we can give. So git reset hard followed by the previous commit ID. When we run this command, what is expected?
We can remove this file permanently.
Yes.
Permanently.
So now the head is pointing to the previous commit ID. It means when I say git status, what is expected here?
File cannot show.
Status of the repository.
It should
Will
be
it should
It should be clean. That's all.
Clean.
Working tree is clean, right? File should not show means whether if you use ls command or git ls command, you can check the file entry. That is different. But the status of repository is clean now. Now, if I say git ls -files, see that s5.x file is not being tracked by git. And if I say ls, you can't find that file in your working directory. It's a permanent deletion of that file from your file system, which cannot be recovered. Now, another interesting factor here is if I say git log one line, you can see it is having the last commit as CM4. That CM 5.2 has been removed permanently. So it's a permanent data loss here. So reset hard will reset the head pointer to the previous commit point, and it will permanently read the files from the file system. Easy. So when you try to perform reset, it is not mandatory that you should give your immediate previous committed. If you want to give previous to previous also. If I say git reset -- hard option, for example, what will happen?
It will
I just gave the
completely
commit ID of CM2 now. Not CM3, CM2. I guess CM2. So my requirement is the latest commit point is CM4 now. From here, I just want to reset to CM2. That means what all things we perform in CM3 and CM4 will be permanently removed. Correct? See, you have just two commits. And if I say ls, you can see only two files associated to CM1 and CM2. Correct?
Yes.
Now, another interesting thing, if you say reset hard to your previous commit now, ls git ls files, and you can see git log one line, also git status. Everything is clean. So as a reviewer, okay, if anyone looks into the repository, they can find only one file here. And if I say git log also, I can see only one commit. But from the point of creation, we perform a lot of things. We have created 5 commits. We have performed git reset soft option, mixed option, and many git reset hard options. But I cannot track anything here, right? So anyone, any new person or any new reviewer look into the repository, he will not have any clue about what exactly happened in this repository. There is no track or no purpose, right? So this is a main concern or main factor you need to consider while using your git reset. So if there is nothing to track, then how we can able to ensure the data integrity? That is the reason it is not recommended to use in a shared repository, because in shared repository, there'll be n number of developers working on the same repository. It can be cloned from the remote repository. Assume that you clone that repository from a remote environment into a local machine, and that repository is having around hundreds of commits done by multiple developers. So without proper knowledge, if you simply say git reset hard option, you will be losing everything, right? So it is not recommended to use in your shared repository. Am I clear with this?
Yes.
Yes.
And out of these 3 options, the git reset mixed is a default option. It means when you simply say git reset follow previous commit ID without giving the option, it will always perform git reset mixed. It means git will never lose the data. It just remove from git tracking. It keeps the data in your working directory safely. Easy. It's a very, very important for interview as well. So please pay more attention to understand, practice it. And I strongly recommend, please practice it immediately. Okay. It means at least within a day or two, try to cover it up so that it will be there in your mind. If you leave 2-3 days time, then again, you have to start from the scratch. All right. So this is about git reset. Shall we go to next topic? Or any other questions here?
So what if you give latest committed instead of previous committed? What will
We
happen?
cannot give that. That is a point. In reset, we cannot give. That is the reason we are going for git revert. All right. Always reset will reset to the previous commit point. Right. So here the limitations are when you're using git reset command and without proper knowledge, if you use git reset hard option, you'll be losing your data permanently. And here there is no scope for tracking your changes. And that is the reason it's not recommended in shared repository. Then how I can use in shared repository means I can use git revert. So if you want to work in git revert, you need to understand the basic properties of git revert. Listen carefully. So git revert is also same as like your git reset hard option. Okay. When I say git revert is also same as git reset hard option. It means here also it is going to permanently remove the data. But the advantage here is whenever you issue git revert, it will create a new commit point for tracking purpose. But here it will not create any commit point. That is a basic difference. So if you
Backup
have
is
a
there.
commit point, you can able to track it again and you can able to recover the data, right? That is what the main advantage. And when you use git revert, you can able to specify any commit point. But in your git reset, you can give only the previous commit points. But here it can be any specific commit point you can able to give to undo action. So git revert will maintain the commit history and it is recommended in shared repository. I'll give you a quick example now. What is there? Okay, we can use the same repo. For example, consider, let me make some changes now. CM1, okay, so let's create echo. What is it? S1.text file. Ayo, okay, let it be. Echo record 2, sorry, record 1. Q1.text file, for example. And then go git add and git commit -m created, or it'll be like a CM2 because I don't have CM2, right? CM2 can be the ID for this one, for example. Now, let me create one more file, a few more files here. I'm going to create another file. I'm going to add it to staging area, and then I'm going to commit this. I'm going to create another file, add it to staging area, and commit this. So now if I say git log, one line, I have 4 commits in my repository with these 4 files. So CM1 is responsible for this particular file, and the CM2, 3, and 4 are responsible for these files. Now my requirement is I want to undo the changes. So if I say git reset, sorry, git revert, git revert, followed by the previous commit ID, CM3. Hope you remember, right? As part of CM3, we have created q2.txt file, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah,
Remember?
Yes.
See, as part of this CM3, I have created q2.txt file. My requirement is what are things I perform on this particular or specific commit, I want to cancel it. I want to undo it. Okay, so I can use git revert followed by that commit ID. Any specific commit, even you can give CM4 also, that doesn't matter. Here there is no option like soft, hard, or mixed. Only option git revert followed by the commit ID. So when you execute this command, what will happen? It will try to remove this particular entry permanently from your machine. That because it is also same as like a git reset hard. Git reset hard, what will do? It will permanently delete the file, right? So here it is also going to permanently delete a file, but for tracking purpose, it will create a new commit point. To create a new commit point, what we need? What we need to create a new commit point?
The backup of file we can see.
Commit message. Simple, no? To create a new commit, commit message, right?
Yeah.
So when you run this command, see what's going to happen here. See, it is expecting a commit message, and it is giving a default commit message as revert CM3 is a default commit message providing. If you are okay with this commit message, you can simply save this file, escape:_WQ. That's it. So one file change has happened, and now if I say git log --- one line, you can see what happened. Initially, I was having 4 commits, and now it has created a new commit point. And if I say git status, it is clean. Why? Because there is nothing uncommitted here or in staging area. And if I say git ls-files, can you able to see that q2.txt file? It won't be there because it is deleted as part of this git revert action. Similarly, it won't be available in your working directory also. That's what I told you. Git revert is same as like git reset hard option. It will permanently delete that file from your system. It is removed. But the benefit here is at least you have your commit history. Now, if I say git show followed by this latest commit ID, what is showing here? As part of this commit, reverted the CM3, it means it's deleted the file, q2.txt file along with the record. So now I realize that due to some mistake or by mistake, I just perform this action. So how I can able to undo this action? How I can able to recover the file? I want to recover q2.txt file now. How to do that? Again, I can use git revert followed by this particular commit ID. So what it mean? Are you able to follow what I'm doing here?
Yes.
So I'm trying to revert that reverted action. Correct? I want to restore the data. So to any specific commit point, you can able to issue in git revert. So I'm going to issue the same commit point, latest commit point. And here also it is going to expect a commit message. And see here, by default, it's giving commit message reapply CM3 because it is tracking it, right? I'm okay with the message. Just save the file, escape:_WQ. And now it has updated. And if you say ls, you should get that file back with the record. And log says a new commit has been created for that also. So it means anyone who looks into this repository, they'll be having a clarity about what happened exactly here. Initially, we had these 4 commits, and as part of this one, we are reverted to CM3, and again, we just reapplied CM3. So here, you're not going to lose a track of your changes. Correct? So that is the reason it's recommended to use in your shared repositories. Any question? All good? Or any other question here? So people, especially freshers, if you're preparing for interview or anything, just keep these 2 commands very clear. Okay, definitely you'll get a lot of questions. Your understanding matters here. So practice as much as possible and make use of it. So if you want me to give some real-time scenarios, like if you're using git revert, you can find it as more advantageous, right? Because you're not losing a track of it. Then when we use this git reset means in real-time environment, there is no point in using git reset soft option. If I want to git reset soft, I can simply use unstage also, right? It's very simple as that. But the point here is git reset hard option. That is very much important. You might think like git reset hard will permanently remove the file. You'll be losing the entire data. But if you're properly handling this command right, it will give you a lot of benefits. So if you're sure about what you're doing, use git reset. Otherwise, don't even consider that. Okay. Otherwise, it is not recommended, especially in shared repository. Easy. But in which case we'll be using it means we use it on daily basis. Okay, even in my current project also, right? I use it. It is a scheduled one. I just schedule it to run for or every build or every changes that happen in my remote servers. Say for example, you guys are aware of ETL process and all.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
ETL.
Yeah.
It's a process of data extraction, transformation, and loading. Correct? So I have a monitoring server. Okay, I'll give you one real-time scenario in my current project. We have a monitoring server, and this monitoring server, it will monitor my production workload for every 10 minutes. For every 10 minutes, it will monitor my production workload and capture some metrics like how much data it is generating and what is the utilization of the CPU, how much memory it is consuming, how many users are accessing my production environment, what is the network traffic. All those things are getting captured through this monitoring server. And for every 10 minutes, it is going to generate the data feed. It is not a small amount of data, okay? It will be in the form of MB. Got it? So such content will get generated for every 10 minutes. And the data, whatever it is getting generated, right? When I say data, it is just a raw content. Got it? So these raw contents, whenever it is getting generated as part of this monitoring, right? It will be extracted. That's what we extract that the raw content into a repository. Got it? And then we transform it. Transformation means the raw content has to be processed and has to be transformed. Why? Because I cannot share this data with my customer. They cannot understand the raw content. So what I should do, I have to format the data and I have to prepare some dashboards, intuitive dashboards from this. So for that, I need some processed data. So I'll just transform the data, and the transformed data will be saved in a relational database. Correct. And from there, it will be loaded to target machines as per their customer's endpoint. It is a different story. So now the point is, when I generate the extra data from my monitoring server for every 10 minutes, immediately it will be transformed and saved in database. Okay, so as part of this extraction, I'm going to create a commit. Assume that my repository, it is having my initial commit. On top of it, I'm going to create one new commit, CM1. Correct. So the CM1 is going to have this extracted data, and from there it will be transformed and sent to database. As soon as I send the data to database, do you still need that CM1 in that repository?
Come again, please.
Yeah, you have to have the data, right?
See, as part of this extraction, consider I have a repo. This repo is having the latest commit, CM1, and the initial commit. Forget about the initial commit. That is for best practice. I just maintain some documentation purpose. That is different. But the CM1, it is going to have the extracted data. Extract file is present my CM1. Now, as part of the transformation, the CM1 will be used to transfer into database, right?
Yeah.
Now, once data is transferred and saved to database, do you still need that data in your CM1?
No.
For the best practice, we have to have the data, right?
No, it is
See,
already there
it
in
is a raw
database.
content actually. The raw content, junk content which was extracted,
Okay.
it has been converted to a valuable information moved to database actually. So what I can do, I can use git reset hard here, followed by this previous commit ID. That is my initial commit ID. So now what will happen? The CM1 will be permanently removed from my repository and will be having just initial commit in the repository. Now, the next cycle, again, the new job will generate the new data, and again, it will extract data in the same repository, creates new commit point, CM1. So like this, for every 10 minutes, this repository will be resetted using git reset hard option and create a commit point there with the fresh data and transform to the target environment. Getting a point, like how we can reuse the repository?
Yeah,
If I'm not using
Yes.
this revert or reset here, what will happen? Or if I use instead of reset, if I use revert in this scenario, what will happen? Honestly, it creates a commit history. It is not at all required for me, right? In this use
Yeah.
case.
Yes.
So that is what. So use this option only if you are sure about your changes. Like this, there are scenarios where we can able to implement your reset and revert. So the best way is in all your shared repositories, you can blindly use git revert. If it is a standalone repository, and if you want to use git reset, you have to be very careful. Make note of it. Easy? All clear?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I'll stop this for now. In tomorrow's session, we'll be discussing about a few more git commands later to the local, and then we'll be talking about git branches, right? A lot of things are there. Okay, we'll continue. Any other question, please let me know.
No.
Fine. So let me update your repository with this content. And as part of today's session, we were able to understand the process of making some commits, understand the commit history, add options, log options, reset, revert, right?
Yes.
So like this, every day, the content will be more. So please have a regular practice so that it'll be easy for you to manage your sessions. So let me edit your repository here. I think I updated for last week, right? Like September 11th, 11th.
Data is
Okay.
not there.
Okay. Fine then. And do you need these commands?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
paste it. It helps us a lot.
Please.
All right. Take a look. What it is, from where it is. Yesterday itself, yesterday only we were using, right, from sample. Okay, today it's from sample 1. I think this should be fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
So let me update it here. Correct. So please go through the class recordings and then class notes once, and then start practicing it. Okay. If you have any question, please let me know now. Any question?
No, looks like.
All right then. So yes. What is the difference between RM-F, RM cached, and git reset mixed hard? Because both are doing the same. That's what I told you, right? We will be concerning about your git reset hard only. Git reset mixed and all, right? It is something you can able to take it back to your thing. And if you want to compare your undo action, listen carefully. You can compare it with your git reset mixed soft or hard option. You cannot compare your git reset with your git rm, because this git rm, it is not used to undo the changes from the committed repository. It is to undo the changes from the staging area. Understood, Vishal?
Vishal, yes, I understood.
Sorry. So when you say git rm, it is something used to undo the changes from your staging area, but reset means it is from the repository.
Okay, fine.
Correct. So
Yeah, I got it.
that makes a difference.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? If you have any question, please let me know right away. Hope I'm making things clear to everyone here.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. So if you don't have any other question, then we'll close this call. We'll connect tomorrow on time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yep.